Good morning, students. Today's session is for your third HR specialization, that is for Human Resource Development Principles and Practices. Today we are going to discuss another case related to human resource development. So this case is about a bank employee, Stan. Stan was hired to work in a branch office but reported directly to Margaret, who was located at the main office of a bank. Means Stan was hired to work in a particular branch of a bank, but after hiring, he was informed that it is required to report directly to Margaret, who is a HR specialist, and she was located at the main branch of a bank. Next, Margaret would talk with Stan several times during the week to ensure that he was comfortable at his job and that he was doing his job effectively. After reporting to the Margaret, who is a HR specialist, and as a HR specialist, Margaret wants to communicate about the company's culture, means about the organization's policies to the Stan, so that he can able to adjust himself with the organizational environment, and he can able to understand the organization's policies and procedure, so that he can able to work as per the company's requirement. And as a HR specialist, Margaret also want to communicate whatever the task involved in a particular job which is assigned to him, so that he can able to perform his task in a most effectively and efficient manner. For that reason, Margaret discussed with Stan number of times within a particular week, so that he can able to make himself more comfortable, himself adjust with the company's culture, with the organization's policies and procedure, and he can able to do everything in a most effective and efficient manner. For that reason, Margaret would talk with Stan several times during a particular week. Next, after 6 months, a decrease in business required Stan to be relocated to the main office. No doubt, Stan was actually hired to work in a particular branch of a bank. But after 6 months, it was identified that a particular branch required less number of human resources. So for that reason, Stan was placed in a main branch of a bank. After 6 months, Stan was placed with the main branch of a particular bank due to certain problems, due to lack of human resources requirement in a branch office. Stan's duties and responsibilities remain the same. Means whatever the responsibilities assigned to him previously, Stan was required to perform same duties, same responsibilities, even though he was placed in the main branch of a particular bank. No doubt Stan was hired to work in a branch office of a bank, but due to certain problem, he was placed in the main branch or main office of a bank, and the duties and the responsibilities always remain same. Means whatever the duties, whatever the responsibilities organization assigned previously, he was required to perform those things in the main branch of a bank. After 1 week, Margaret noticed that Stan was not performing his job responsibilities to the company's policy. Stan having certain qualities, certain skills. For that reason, organization hired him for the branch office. But after 1 week, Margaret, who is a HR specialist, noticed that Stan was not able to perform his duties, perform his responsibilities as per his capabilities, as per his skills. Mar- no, Stan having certain skills, Stan having certain capabilities. For that reason, organization hired him, but Margaret noticed that he was not able to perform everything in a desired manner, everything in a sequential or perfect manner. And also Margaret noticed that Stan did not follow the company's policy, company's procedure. Even though Margaret informed him previously about the company's culture, about the organization's policy, Margaret noticed that he was not able to follow the company's policy, company's work procedure. And Margaret also noticed that he was not keeping up with his duties and responsibilities on daily basis. Means whatever the duties, whatever the responsibilities assigned to him previously, he was required to perform only these things, even though he was placed in the main branch of a particular bank. But Margaret noticed that he was not able to perform his assigned duties and responsibilities on a regular basis. So after 1 week, Margaret noticed that Stan was not able to perform as per the company's requirement. And Margaret noticed that Stan did not follow the company's policy, company's procedures, and whatever the duties, whatever the responsibilities assigned to him, he did not follow these things. When approached by Margaret, Stan objected to her concern. His attitude changed. As a HR specialist, Margaret wants to communicate about the Stan's problem, and also Margaret wants to discuss what problems Stan having due to such problem. He was not able to act accordingly. He was not able to perform his assigned duties and responsibilities in a effective manner. Whenever Margaret approached, or whenever Margaret tried to communicate such problem to the Stan, Stan always objected to Margaret's views. Stan always objected to Margaret's concerns. Means whatever the suggestion, whatever the feedback given by Margaret to the Stan, always Stan rejected this thing. Always Stan tried to object to Margaret's views, Margaret's concern. And Stan's attitude also changed. He behaved in a rude manner with Margaret, and he having a negative attitude. Next, he would arrive to work moody. Means as per his willingness, he usually came to work, and as per his choice, he wants to do the task. And whatever the task, whatever the duties, responsibilities provided or assigned by the organization, he did not follow this thing, and as per the company's requirement, he was not able to work. As per his choice, he want to perform the duties, perform the task. He would glare at Margaret, talk to her in harsh manner. Stan's attitude changed, and Stan always behave in a rude manner, always behave with a negative manner, and he generally talk with talk with harsh manner, talk with Margaret in harsh manner, and stomp around the office. He usually moves within an office, and he did not concentrate on his work, and whatever the duties, whatever the responsibilities assigned to him as per assigned task, he was not able to work, and he also did not follow the company's policy and company's procedure. No doubt, Stan having certain qualification, no doubt Stan having certain skills and qualities. Due to certain skill, organization hired him for branch office, but due to certain problem, organization placed him in the main branch of a bank. Next, one morning when Margaret was talking to Stan about his lack of improvement, he pounded his fist on the desk and with an elevated tone told Margaret that she was talking down to him. He would not stand for it. As a HR specialist, she having the responsibility to minimize the problems which the employee having, and if any suggestion required, as a HR specialist, she has to provide. So for that reason, One morning, Margaret wants to communicate. Margaret wants to talk or discuss with Stan about the lack of improvement or lack of performance. When Margaret approached to Stan, Stan behaved in a rude manner with a loud voice. He react Margaret's concern or Margaret's views. When Margaret said that the Stan having lack of improvement and Stan was not able to act as per the company's requirement, Stan behave in a rude manner with loud voice. Stan react Margaret's views, Margaret's concern. And Stan said that whatever the views provided by or whatever the feedbacks provided by the HR specialist, the HR specialist was not for him, and whatever the views provided by the HR specialist is not suitable for him. Margaret, the HR specialist, behave in a different manner. Margaret said that she come to you she come to you the HR specialist for the help with this problem. When Stan behave in a rude manner, Margaret behaved in a different manner. Margaret said that she is a HR specialist and she always acts as a source of help rather than source of threat. She came to stand for helping him, and whatever the problem Stan having, she want to identify. She want to rectify the problem so that so that he can able to means so that the Stan can able to work as per his skills, as per his abilities, and as per the company's assigned duties and assigned tasks so that everything can be performed in a most effective and efficient manner. So this is all about the overview of the case. The question is that outline your solution based on your company's policy. Margaret is a HR specialist who try to motivate, who try to change the attitude of Stan. No doubt Stan having certain qualities, no doubt Stan having certain skills, and Margaret want to improve these skills. Margaret want to improve the capabilities Margaret wants to utilize the Stan's capability. For that reason, Margaret try to behave positively, try to discuss with Stan for improving the performance. The question is that if you are the HR specialist of a company, how or if you are the HR specialist of that bank, how you deal with such people. So you are required to find number of solutions related to such problem. If you have such type of employee, how you deal. Here, uh, this case reveals that Margaret behaves positively. Margaret behave positively with Stan. Margaret try to motivate the Stan for improving his performance. But Stan always behave rudely with the HR specialist, and whatever the views, whatever the suggestions provided by Margaret, he did not follow these suggestions. So the question is about if you are the HR specialist, how you deal with such situation, and you have to provide number of solutions based on company's policy. Means by following the company's policy, by following the company's procedure, how you deal with such employees, and how you improve the how you improve such type of employees performance. Here, this is about this case. This is about the person's behavior, the person's manner. So in that situation, how you deal with such people, you have to find number of solutions. So this is all about this case. Thank you.